Hi everyone, welcome to Boarded Tanks with stewiejp. I'm Stewie and this is the Tier 6 American Heavy Tank, the M6. I think this was around about the first Tier 6 tank I ever owned, going back all those years when I first started playing Boarded Tanks. Being driven today by Psychromancer Sub-Zero, the commander of RNG clan, the Rangers, and he's running around on highway. Lucky enough to be almost top tier. In this game there's two Tier 7 tanks on his side, the new AMX M445 Heavy and the AMX AC46 Tank Destroyer. The enemy side has a Leo and the IKV-90B, the two Swedish tanks. Looking at the lineup, there's quite a number of heavy tanks on Sub-Zero's side, and so he's going to where the heavies normally play, on highway in the little city. Now the M6 hasn't got a bad gun at all, 240 hit points of damage with 160 penetration, 243 penetration with the premium rounds, which is a PCR. I'm tipping he just had cruise control on there for a minute and he hit the red line, but he's moving into the city to try and do some damage to these enemy tanks. There's no Tier 7 heavy tanks, which Sub-Zero, Psychromancer Sub-Zero will be very happy about. Of course, the M6 has got a pretty handy turret from memory. Can bounce shots from anybody you like, but there's no real areas here that you can really get hull down in. The hull is not known for its armour. And if you look on his gun barrel, you can see he's got 2 marks of excellence on that barrel. And I'm tipping he's looking to 3 mark it as soon as he can. Finds the enemy M6 as well as a KV-1S, a Tier 5 Russian heavy tank. And it looks like a KV-1 there as well. So he gets into a position where he can do a little bit of side scraping. Looks for a shot on, I think that was the M6, doesn't land one, I don't think. Does get a shot into the M6, bounces the KV-1. And maybe I was wrong about the hull, but at that angle it's going to be pretty hard to penetrate. Looks like the M6 now is trying to fire high explosives at him to try and do some damage to the well-angled Tier 6 American heavy tank. But all they're really managing to do is take off his tracks a few times, which he won't be too worried about unless those 3 artilleries start focusing on him. Of course, the FV-304 on the enemy side could probably hit him there if he's in the right position. And looking at the mini-map, looks like the enemy side are pushing the western flank quite well, as Sub-Zero picks up the first kill of the game, taking out the Tier 5 heavy tank. And that M4, which is not far behind him, gets rid of KV-1. Or the other way around. Side scrapes again, looking for a shot on the KV-2. Puts him down by 226. Makes him pretty much a one-shot. That OI might do it. Yes, he does. Looked like there was quite a delay from when he fired to when he died. Big Japanese heavy. Puts a shot into the Archer, which only seems to track the Archer. The very lightly armoured tank, the Archer. I can't see why that didn't do any damage. But the second shot does. Takes a shot in return, but takes him down to a one-shot with the score on 3-4. There's kill number 2 for Psychromancer Sub-Zero. He's already done 61 hit points of damage, and there goes kill number 3, bringing his damage up to 1706. He's also bounced 1,000, which is not too bad at all at Tier 6. And it looks like he's going to continue to stick with this OI try and focus fire on these enemy tanks down. The T-34 probably won't have any trouble penetrating, but the OI sends the Russian popular medium tank back to the garage, and also turns the game around from being behind by a couple of tanks to being up by 1. 6-5 is the score. The enemy artillery gets spotted, the little birdie tank, but the birdie tank's probably got enough speed to get out of there. Unlucky not to land that shot on the KV-1, but it wasn't fully aimed. And he's looking for a shot into the British artillery. That might have went through, we're not entirely sure. He disappeared just as he took the shot. Now Psychromancer Sub-Zero pulling back. Had a bit of a feeling he might get hit by Artie there, so now he's going to use these buildings to try and be safe from those big artillery guns, because the FV probably couldn't one-shot him, but the others could definitely take some damage out of the big heavy American tank. The KV-1 looks like he's tunnel visioning on either the Cromwell or maybe the Chaffee, and that allows Psychromancer Sub-Zero from the Rangers to keep putting damage into him. And there's kill number 4 with a big M6 American heavy tank, and he moves just in time to dodge another artillery shell, which is always a good feeling. Looking at the minimap, the T150 chose to go along the other flank along with his platoon mate in the Cromwell. The AMX AC-46 also on the western side of the map, and for that reason Psychromancer Sub-Zero is pushing through with a little help from the M4A3E2, who's already picked up a kill for himself as well. 7-6 is the score, 2,184 hit points of damage, 1180 damage blocked, and a little bit of spotting damage as well. So the only tanks that have been lit that you would expect to see on this side is that little British artillery piece. All the other tanks were last seen along the northwestern side of the map, other than of course the artillery. Chaffee doing what Chaffies do best, searching for the artillery, and Psychromancer Sub-Zero picks up his 5th kill, taking the dangerous Hellcat out of the game. The Hellcat's got a very, very handy gun indeed. Looking for a shot on the Hummel, doesn't have it, but it looks maybe the Chaffee's got him covered. He does. I don't think he's been spotted for some time, so the other 2 artilleries won't be looking for him. And with the score on 10-8, looks like the majority of enemy tanks around about E1, where that AMX 12T was just killed. Except for there's a grill, he'll say thank you very much. Straight through, shoots him and rams him to get rid of the little tier 6 artillery. That's his top gun, 6 kills in the M6, but he wants more. That little artillery's just fired, and that IKB 90B at tier 7 might be a little bit dangerous. He's down to 38 hit points here, 14-9's the score. Desperately wants that last kill, but it's not quite going to happen. Not a bad result at all from Psychromancer Sub-Zero in his little M6 Tier 6 American heavy tank. He's picked himself up an ace tanker for that little effort on highway. Hand of God, Bruiser, Duelist, Fire for Effect, Shell Proof, High Caliber for doing at least 20% of the total hit points of enemy vehicles in damage, and of course the Top Gun for those valuable 6 kills. Looking at page 2 on the post-game battle results, he well and truly carried that one. 2,840 hit points of damage for his 6 kills, gave him a base experience of 1409. Not a bad result at all. Handy little profit too, with just under 18,000 credits on a standard account. And all in all, a pretty good result from Psychromancer Sub-Zero, running around in his M6, which is the Tier 6 American heavy tank. As we move on to game number 2 in this double shot of Tier 6 action, this also features a player who's been quite active on this channel, and he's got his own channel, which I'll put a link in the video description below. It's Bo B, running around in his T37, the Tier 6, ever popular Tier 6 American light tank. Now you can see the consumables that he's using. He's using Coca-Cola for the extra vision, extra camo, extra everything. Also binoculars and camouflage net. Puts a shot into the FV 308, which is the Tier 9. This is a Tier 9 battle. Artillery, and there goes one of the top tier tanks. Obviously the artillery wasn't spotted where he picked up the kill, but you'll take those kills all day, every day. Now let's see, he's got you can see the setup in how he's set this tank up. He's set up the premium ammunition as the first option, which is the ammunition he's firing now. And of course, when you're in a tier 9 game, that's with premium ammunition. 199 penetration isn't massive, but you can do a little bit. Standard is only 150, which makes it even harder. One zip is a score. He's picked up over 700 hit points of damage so far. Remember, we didn't see the killing shot on that FE 3805. I'm tipping about 750. It looks like, looking at the mini-map, looks like the enemy have done a pretty solid push towards the white flag. Of course, this is an encounter battle where there's only one base, and the object is to either cap that base out, which does take a long time, close to 4 minutes if only one person's doing it, or obviously kill all the enemy tanks. Killing all is generally the preferred way of winning any kind of game, but you never know what's going to happen. Now, Bo B in his T37 getting quite aggressive, trying to get into a position where he can help that IS-3, but it's just going to be suicide if he pushes himself in between those 6 tanks. So instead of that, he's just going to try and keep this KV-3 lit and just keep putting some shots into his side. I'm surprised he hasn't tracked him. He's taken him down to 238 hit points from the 1400 that he started with, so that's not a bad effort at all. And he knows he's lit, and he knows he's aiming his way, so he's just being a little bit conservative here. That KV-3's down to a 1-shot, so he picks up his second kill, making the score 3-2. He's also keeping these tanks lit, which the E75 and the 112 don't seem to be really firing at the tanks that he's lighting up. He switched to standard ammunition now, probably because those side shots into the KV-3, not the KV-13, the KV-3 probably didn't warrant premium ammunition as he runs around to try and get some flanking shots on this T-34. Plenty of map ping going on by the dead IS-3, and T-34 takes a big hit from one of those heavy tanks that was seen not too far, and now he's just going to snipe away at this MT-25. This is free damage, you'll take that all day. Hadn't been killed yet, so he blind fires, gets another blind shot kill. It didn't look like he was going to move. He looked like he was not going to move at all, so why wouldn't you just take the free damage in this tier 9 game? Of course, when you're a low tier tank in a high tier battle, in this case Bo B's in a tier 6 light tank, he's in a tier 9 game, a lot of people aren't too happy because they're low tier. But what people don't realise, when you're a low tier, you actually get a bonus in experience, because you're, in this case, Bo B's 3 tiers lower than the top tiers on both sides, and for that, so when you're in that situation, you do get a bonus for however much damage or spotting or whatever you do. Narrowly misses a shot from the SU-12244. Looks like it went straight over the top of the tank. Now that T-34 is, again, he's tunnel visioning on that E75 and very kindly giving his side to Bo B. So Bo B just says, thank you very much. I think I'm pretty safe here. I'm just going to keep firing away at the Tier 8 Premium American Heavy Tank. Now there's the SU-12244 who was shooting at him earlier. Looks like he's aimed at him again, but it does have pretty good frontal armour. But E75 kills it, T49 kills the T44, and in the end, not a bad result for Bo B in his T37, picking himself up an Ace Tanker Mastery Badge, Bruiser and Fire for effect. And looking at the second page, he didn't get top score by damage, he got third, but that's no mean feat when you're a Tier 6 light tank in a Tier 9 game. Getting the third highest damage score is absolutely massive, and that's that bonus I was talking about for being in the Tier 6. That's why he got 1463 top experience, 556 spotting damage, and he did nearly 3,000 hit points of damage, which isn't too bad at all in a little Tier 6 light tank. It was an expensive round though, even with a premium account. He lost nearly 60,000 credits, and that's because he was firing pretty much full premium ammunition. But there's a couple of Tier 6 games, double shot of Tier 6 action featuring the Rangers clan Psychromancer Sub-Zero, the Commander, and Bo B. Don't forget to check out Bo B on YouTube. Thanks for the replays, lads. Take care, and see you all next time.